How does sleep quality affects the learning, creativity, and also problem-solving skill, especially for us, the worker and the students, guys? Okay, welcome back to the Yaya's research. In today's video, we'll explore how fascinating the connection between the sleep quality and also the learning. So, in here, we are also understand that the cognitive load theory, this is will providing us the valuable insight into the relationship. Yeah, guys, by examining the how poor sleep quality, it can reducing the working memory capacity and also our attention span. We will uncover it how it ultimately impairs the crucial cognitive function. Get ready to discover. Let's just jump right in. Okay, and here is the code as the simulation, guys. Okay. So, what are we want to know about if we want to simulating the data point and also visualize them on a scatter plot? We will demonstrate the correlation between the cognitive load factors, which is consisting of intrinsic and also extraneous cognitive load, and also how can it will impacting the performance and we will categorize it. Okay, let's just break down the code. Okay, here. And the simulate data, okay, after we are importing some libraries that we need to do the calculation, we are creating the function of the simulate data. This function will generate random values for three variables that are intrinsic cognitive load, extraneous cognitive load, and also the threshold, okay? These variables will representing the cognitive load factors of each data point. The intrinsic cognitive loads, it will referring to the mental effort that required by the task itself that we challenge it day by day. While the extraneous cognitive load, it represent the mental effort that associate with the irrelevant information or the distraction. The threshold will set the limit above which the total cognitive load that is considered as an excessive, guys. Okay? And here, based on the generated cognitive load factors, this function will determine the total cognitive load by summing the intrinsic and also the extraneous cognitive load. It then comparing the total cognitive loads to the threshold. Okay, if the total cognitive loads here is exceeding the threshold, it will indicating the cognitive overload that resulted in the impaired performance. Otherwise, it signifies the optimal cognitive load that leading to the enhanced performance. This function appending all the relevant data that is including the cognitive load factors and also the performance category into a list. After we are defining the base calculation and the base principle here, now we are visualizing the data. The visualize data function, it takes the generated data as input and extracts the intrinsic, also the extraneous cognitive load values, that is the x and y coordinates and also the performance categories. It creates a scatter plot where each data point is represented as a dot. The color of each dot will correspond to the performance category that it belongs to. The scatter plot will have visualized the relationship between the cognitive load factors and also the performance. Okay. And then when we are plotting, the plot will including the color field areas that dividing the plot based on the performance categories. In here, we are creating that the green area represent the range of cognitive load where optimal performance is expected. The blue area will represent the range of moderate cognitive load, while the red area will representing the range of the cognitive overloads that indicating the impaired performance. These color field areas providing a clear visual representation of the different performance categories based on the cognitive loads level. Okay, here is the plotting. Okay, so and then the plot also includes some additional element for better understanding. In the x-axis, it will represent the intrinsic cognitive load, and while the y-axis, it will represent the extraneous cognitive load. The axis label in here that we are creating, that it will help us to interpret the data points, and also the legend will explain the color coding of the scatter plot and also providing the information about the performance categories. And finally, after all, we just visualize the data by using the plot.show. Okay, so how about the output, guys? Okay, here is the output. Regarding the output results, the scatter plot visually represent the simulated data points on a 2D planar, with the intrinsic cognitive load on the x-axis that you can see here, and also the extraneous cognitive load on the y-axis. Each data point here is represented as a dot. The color of each dot indicating the performance category it belongs to. The color scheme will help distinguish between the optimal cognitive load, which is green color, moderate cognitive load in a blue color, and also the cognitive overload in a red color. The color filled areas on the plot will visually divide the cognitive load space into different performance categories, this area providing a clear understanding of the range of cognitive load associated with each performance category. Okay, and overall, the output result will providing a visual representation of the simulated data points. It will allow us to understand the correlation between the cognitive load factors and also the performance. This plot also helping us to demonstrate how different levels of cognitive load can affect performance and providing insight into the importance of managing cognitive load for optimal cognitive performance. Okay, so what are the lessons that we can take after our discussion? I think understanding the critical role of the sleep quality in our cognitive ability, it is essential for us, for workers, for students, especially for businessmen alike. By delving into the cognitive load theory, we've shed light on how poor sleep quality can hinder our working memory capacity, hindering our attention span, and also subsequently impairing our learning capacity and reducing our creativity and, of course, our problem solving skills. The finding presented in this video will highlight the necessity of prioritizing quality sleep for optimal cognitive performance. Remember, guys, well rest mind is always the key to unlocking your potential. Okay, maybe that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more enlightening content. See you on the next video.